Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. And we got a lot to talk about tonight. And, Iran and China are paralyzed. We got the mainstream media repeating libel and playing dumb. Oh, do you think he meant you when he said that? Yeah, we thought. But anyway, folks, what do I do while people come in to the chats? I know I'm a little bit early today, but I am simulcasting on Rumble, YouTube, and Kick. So anyway, what do? I play videos while people come in. We have a few laughs or what have you. And then what do? We're going to be like butter. I like this video here. We're going to be like butter and get on a roll.
About us charging folks.
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, oh, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we have a concept where we'll charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us.
Dust on my Bible, flags on the line. You laughed at our warnings, called truth a crime. You sold us your secrets, wrapped up like hope. Signed all our futures with a poison note. You sat in your mansions, we prayed in the rain. You cast every favor on a ledger of pain. You thought you were covered, names on a list, private plain pages you swore don't exist. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. You thought she was certain, thought he was too. Shook hands in the back room, said they'll never break through. You mocked every farmer, every steel-toed boo. Called them crazy and bitter while you buried the proof. Now screens start flashing, whole names, young kids, whole world scrolling through the things y'all did. Digital soldiers from the cornfields to Rome say leave our children alone or we're taking you home. Let's go! Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. From the back roads to the big tall towers, patriots worldwide, this the final hour. You can beg, you can bargain, you can scream, you can hide, but the book's been written and your name's inside. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. Nothing's gonna stop what's already signed. Game over.
Storm zone. Yes, sir. I'm wondering what storm they're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're able to make it. And I did come up a little bit early this evening. I could have gone up at 9:30. I was like, wow, you know. But anyway, I got a couple of late-breaking clips and stuff while I had some extra time, which I, you know, I struggle to get through all the stuff I get put in there. How you like my thumbnail? A Scooby-Doo moment? I meant to put a question mark there, but I forgot. Are we going to have a Scooby-Doo moment with all the stuff going down with Southern Poverty Law Center, people being subpoenaed on Act Blue, and all the work that's being done, as we know, by our friends in Space Force and many other intel agencies that are following these intricate webs. Yeah. So anyway, let's see who came in to see me tonight. Who is here? Todd's here. Sherry's here. Sissy's here. Elma. Cole. Nice to see you. Let's see. All right. Tammy's here. Cole and Tammy. That's all right. It's the younger gang. And Randy's here. Yeah. Brett's here. Gary's here. Nice to see you. So, let's see. Sissy, oh, everybody's got numbers behind their names this time around. Huh. I don't know what's going on with that. That's all right. Remember that? We had people with numbers behind their names for a while. I don't know. Maybe it's YouTube doing an analytic or something. I don't know. But anyway, who else is here? I didn't miss anybody, did I? So far. Melinda's here. Yeah. Let's see, Sparky, Lori's here, Rubber Toes here. Let's see, Robert's here. Nice to see you, Robert. Sparky's run. How many Sparkies we got? Flannel Cheese, nice to see you. Better known as Anthrax, or also, AKA, also known as, Let's see. Who else is here? Yeah. Hi, Lucky. Nice to see you. Is that the real Gary? Yeah, it's the real Gary. Can't you tell he starts off by saying, ha ha? That's how he starts off. And he knows Anthrax's flannel cheese. And I ain't going to give away any more how I know. But you'll see probably later in my broadcast when I talk about a specific judge I don't care for. And he'll know who it is before I even say it, probably. That's how you know it's an authentic Gary. So anyway, I got taken down off of Facebook for this meme. And I put it on my video many times. On my videos. Every time the Democrats don't get their way, they get dangerous. Bought me a week of sitting around looking at my belly button. I wasn't doing videos back then. But this has been around a long time. It pops up again. Just got to be patient. Hi, Pappy Two Bears. How you doing? Nice to see you. Lucky's here. Let's see. All right. So, I got some comments about the situation. Glad I was covering the situation in Mali. I also had a comment from somebody from Persia, and I couldn't find it. Kind of like when Norm's comments went south on me. I don't know what the deal was with that, but they were grateful for what I was covering. And, I don't know. So, but anyway, there's a new theory as to who is behind these assassinations. Before I play this video, have you all heard the new theory of who's behind these assassination attempts? Mojo, how you doing? Nice to see you. I'll see if anybody guesses it. And I'm going to play that interview with 60 Minutes. What a joke. Repeating libel and then playing dumb. Repeating libel and then playing dumb. So, yeah, I don't see any guesses. No. Okay, well, she'll tell you who's behind it. Everybody knows she knows what she's talking about.
Don't ask any questions, even though there's just odd things that keep happening around Trump. And we know that Viktor Orban, allegedly, according to Washington Post reporting, there was a plot by the Russians to stage an assassination, fake assassination for Orban. So all of this throws in together. You're like, when something seems too perfect, people, they don't believe in it. And Donald Trump now again gets victimized by an alleged would-be assassin in front of the perfect witnesses, the press.
Oh, really? Russia found people to get one right between the eyes and their gourd blown off, and the other one is sitting in jail for the rest of his life, where the other one soon will be. So anyway, it's the Russians. They're putting up a hoax, according to her, and he's meeting with King Charles. Man, they are really going wild over there about Keir Starmer, the British. There were an announcement that most of the migrants would never be UK citizens. Did you all hear that? It was a official announcement. But anyway, I watched an interview with a British guy said that they love Trump over there. Real Brits. Because he when he's talking about Starmer, he said, well, I'm not dealing with no Winston Churchill, that's for sure. And everybody cracked up, went wild. And he's running scared. He's a mess. So there's a big lot of wonder about what is Charles going to do. I mean, is he going to help Starmer? Is Starmer, remember Trump's post? It's okay. You still got time. In other words, get your you-know-what in one bucket. But here they are, Melania and Donald Trump meeting. What in the world? Camilla, I'm sure she's got a great personality. But, and there's a lid for every pot. I know. But I mean, that or Princess Di. But who am I to judge? Well, I thought there was sound on that clip. I hope there's sound on my other clips. I'll have to mess with my. But there they are. Trump is being very animated. Just before I went live, I said, "Man, I got time before." Usually it's like I'm in a hurry. This time I was like, "Wow, I got a little extra time," and I got some clips. Hi, Wayne. How you doing? Wayne's giving me a oh, by the way, give me a thumbs up, people. Ha ha, helps the video get around. Let me see. Did Gary spill the beans on the judge? I'm looking. So anyway, well, that's how you find out the bona fides. So who's here? So anyway, I didn't go far enough back, I don't think. But anyway, what's his name? Matt Walsh. Is that it? Yeah. Matt Walsh put this up. Matt Walsh. Consider the astronomical levels of stupidity on display here. Ilhan Omar doesn't know how to read Roman numerals, and she thinks there have been 11 world wars. Either one of those would be reasonable justification to remove her from office and send her back to Somalia. But both, here she is. An ignoramus, counterculture jihadist, and a fraud.
The last time the Alien Enemies Act was invoked, it was used to detain and deport German, Japanese, Italian immigrants during World War XI.
Yeah, don't know a damn thing our history doesn't want to know. She's here to subvert. She's here to subvert. I was going to read this one part. This was the first part of his comment. Our founding fathers never even considered the possibility that illiterate third world women would one day be shipped to this country and then elected to Congress. We're discovering a method of national you-know-what-aside that never entered the minds of our founders. Boy, ain't that the truth. Ah, Miss Menderson. Nice to see you. So, let me see. Here's Trump. One of his latest posts. I got posts from him earlier. Every day he's putting this up. America's elections are rigged, stolen, a laughingstock all over the world. And we're either going to fix them or we don't have a country any longer. I'm asking all Republicans to fight for the following. Save America Act. Yep. I'm down with that. We had a big day at the Supreme Court. Texas. But really the country had a big day. Breaking. SCOTUS delivers massive redistricting victory for GOP. The U.S. Supreme Court handed Texas Republicans a major win Monday, locking in the state's newly redrawn congressional map and clearing the way for it to be used in 2026 midterms and beyond. So, with Virginia, all right, what's going on there with these lunatic lefty judges playing patty cake? It's always these levels of drama that we have to deal with, where they try to legislate, adjudicate their way through. And they're very close to tumbling, very close to falling off their perch. But I got this notification today. I heard it was being argued before Supreme Court, so I didn't flip out about it. But 3 hours earlier, they put this story out. Virginia court rules in favor of Democrats in redistricting case. Why would Google put that out today on my phone? And Google put that out with millions of people that aren't keeping their ear to the ground. That happened already, and it was stayed by the Supreme Court. They can't enact the districts till the Supreme Court of Virginia hears it. So they play with words. Judge rules, or now Virginia court, same thing. the judge is the court, and vice versa. And they can play with these words. But this is an old story. Why would they put it on my phone? Because they want people to be shocked and aggravated if the Virginia Supreme Court upholds keeping Virginia from being able to turn this to a 10 situation to a 10-1 Democratic advantage in a 50-50 state, roughly 49-51 state. So the mind games never stop. I was getting into a little bit about the brain damage that can be caused. Hi, Darla, how you doing? Brain damage that can be caused from continued aggravation and stimulation and stress on the mind. Okay? People concerned about their safety, people concerned about their finances, people concerned about Hitler. Sweet, how you doing? Sweet daydreams. Nice to see you. And Trump does allude to again during this interview with Dizzy that this guy was sick. This guy had a mental illness. And I think he's trying to get people to understand that it goes beyond this kid. And they need to look at themselves. This is just a quick clip here about, I don't know if I might keep this one. Because he put her in place a number of times. He wasn't rude. They always want to play the victim. You know, Trump was so insulting to me. But he did this stuff in a way she couldn't claim that. He just told her like it was.
He had attended a No Kings protest in California.
No Kings. Yeah.
What did security tell you about what may have been his motives?
The reason you have people like that is you have people doing no kings. I'm not a king. What I am, if I was a king, I wouldn't be dealing with you.
Like he told that woman during E. Jean Carroll, you're not my type. If I was a king, I wouldn't be dealing with you. So anyway, let me see what these other clips are. Let me play this one. Here we go. Another short clip. I think this is when he dresses her down. I don't know. I try to take notes sometimes, but my writing looks like I write with my feet, you know? But anyway, so I can't even read that. See what it is.
Mr. President, do you know if you were the target of the gunman?
I don't know. It sounded to me, I read a manifesto. He's radicalized. He was a Christian, a believer, and then he became an anti-Christian, and he had a lot of change. He's been going through a lot based on what he wrote. His brother complained about him, and I think reported him to the police, and his sister likewise complained about him. His family was very concerned. He was probably a pretty sick guy.
A pretty sick guy. He was a Christian. He'd been through a lot. What does it mean? I don't know. MK maybe? I don't know. As an ultra, I don't know. Or just we've all been being subjected to illegal psychological warfare campaigns, all of us. So anyway, here's some more other clips where she tries to put him in a trick box. And I don't know which clip it is, but you'll see her read. Now, why would she read the most libelous, slanderous filth coming out of this sick person's brain? And then when Trump said, you're a disgrace, you shouldn't read that on 60 Minutes. Oh, you mean you think he was talking about you? And she didn't say it that long and drawn out, but oh, there you are, Gary. we were looking for you. Anyway, but you'll hear her say it I'm not sure if it's this clip or not.
The so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this, quote, administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this, I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people, horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, I'll do this interview and they'll probably, I read the manifesto, he's a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
and I
these
was
are
never,
the gunman's words.
Excuse me. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead. Let's finish the interview.
The other thing that he wrote.
Let's finish this. Yeah, they're a disgrace. Let's finish the interview. He let her know right there she was done. But she just wanted to get that shot in, get it out on national television. That everything that guy put in his crapifesto was the talking points that are all associated with the Southern Poverty Law Center. We all know about it. All these Soros NGOs have coordinated narratives, and this bunch with CBS and the others are right in on it. But did you hear her say, do you think he was talking about you? Like giving herself cover. I didn't know who he was talking about. Are you crazy? You think people are crazy? We know you are. But here's another clip. I don't know if I uploaded two of the same or not. Let me see.
I see these no kings, which are funded just like the Southern Law was funded. You saw all that. Southern Law is financing the KKK and lots of other radical, terrible groups. And then they go out and they say, we've got to stop the KKK. And yet they give them hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars. It's a total scam run by the Democrats. It shows you that, like Charlottesville was all funded by the Southern Law. That was a Southern Law deal, too. And it was done to make me look bad, and it turned out to be a total fake. It basically was a rigged election. This was a part of the rigging of the election. Mm-hmm. And that's what you really should be doing. I mean, I hope one of your 60-minute episodes, which really hasn't changed very much from the last few years, I'm surprised, but one of those episodes should be on Southern Law and the fact that they spent millions and millions of dollars on absolute far right and just bad groups. Mm-hmm. And then they'd use those groups and they'd say, these are Republican groups and we're coming to your rescue. And they're the ones that have funded it and they're the ones that keep them going.
Yeah, he's pretty much challenging them to investigate that bunch. The press is supposed to be they call it the fourth estate. The fourth estate's supposed to keep a check on the checks and balances and all this kind of stuff, which they acted like they were doing under Nixon. What they were really doing was participating in a silent coup. Here's another clip. I think she did a pitiful job. I think you would have to be one of these foaming at the mouth Trump haters not to see how well he did. And most people agree with the way he treated her, which I thought was professional. Okay, let me see what's got going on here.
I think that we all need to take a step back. I need to take a step back. Everybody in the media needs to take a step back and say, are we...
Oh, wait a minute. I thought this was another Trump clip. Must not be. This is a attorney general. Or let me see, what is he? Jay Clinton, a U.S. attorney, talking about what's going on. Let me start it over again. I didn't mean to interrupt it. But yeah, let's see what he's got to say.
I think that we all need to take a step back. I need to take a step back. Everybody in the media needs to take a step back and say, are we amplifying hate and fringe elements in
you really you don't know the answer to that?
We are.
Yeah.
People are.
I know.
But let me tie this to a recent event. I mean, this was horrible. Amplifying somebody like this's message, just stupid. Let's just call it what it is, stupid. Okay. We had a case in the Justice Department last week, the Southern Poverty Law Center. The case, at bottom, and these are allegations, but at bottom, the allegations are that this organization was creating hate in order to expand their mission of combating hate. If that's going on, and it is, it's going on in America, it's going on through organizations like that. It's also going on with foreign actors funding these types of organizations because they want us to fight with each other. So everybody needs to take a step back and say, who is causing me to have these emotions? And are we creating an environment where those emotions are causing us to do things that are harmful to the American public?
Yeah. Yeah, he's putting it in layman terms that people can understand. A psychological warfare campaign. Who foreign interests were? He's checking it out. Is that involved with these groups? And it's going to lead to the press. There's going to be an email trail or something, or a WhatsApp, or they're going to get into their communications. They already did during that Star Wars game. Remember that? So here's Carolyn Levitt. What was the name of her kid? I don't. That guy guessed it. I got a clip where he tells what the trick he did. I don't know if he tells the name or not. But anyway, here's Carolyn Levitt.
Because he loves this country, and he is willing to put his own life on the line to deliver on the promises that he made to the American public who elected him here into the highest office in the land. And while we are blessed to have a fearless president, we should not live in a country where such constant fear of political violence permeates our society every single day. We can and we should have fierce disagreement in this country. As you all know, we disagree often, myself in this role and all of you in the news media. But those disagreements must remain peaceful. Debating, peaceful protesting, and voting are how we need to settle disagreements, not bullets. Nobody in recent years has faced more bullets and more violence than President Trump. This political violence stems from a systemic demonization of him and his supporters by commentators, yes, by elected members of the Democrat Party, and even some in the media. This hateful and constant and violent rhetoric directed at President Trump day after day after day for 11 years has helped to legitimize this violence and bring us to this dark moment. Those who constantly falsely label and slander the president as a fascist, as a threat to democracy, and compare him to Hitler to score political points are fueling this kind of violence. The left-wing cult of hatred against the president and all of those who support him and work for him has gotten multiple people hurt and killed, and it almost did so again this weekend. When you read the manifesto of this shooter, ask yourselves, how different is the rhetoric from this almost assassin than what you read on social media and hear in various forums every single day? The answer, if you're being honest with yourself, is that there is no difference at all. Much of the manifesto of the would-be assassin is indistinguishable from the words that we hear daily from so many. For example, as the First Lady of the United States pointed out this morning, just 2 days prior to the shooting, ABC's late-night host Jimmy Kimmel disgustingly called First Lady Melania Trump an expectant widow. Who in their right minds says a wife would be glowing over the potential murder of her beloved husband? And having experienced what I did with the First Lady on Saturday night, I can tell you that she was anything but that. This kind of rhetoric about the president, the first lady, and his supporters is completely deranged, and it's unbelievable that the American people are consuming it night after night after night. As President Trump said on Saturday night at this podium, we as Americans must recommit ourselves to resolving our differences peacefully and uniting around the shared values that make our country great. The deranged lies and smears against the president, his family, his supporters have led crazy people to believe crazy things, and they are inspired to commit violence because of those words. It has to stop. And one more point. Saturday night served as yet another reminder of how important it is to fund the Department of Homeland Security. It is shameful that the United States Congress has kept this vital agency defunded for 73 days, the longest shutdown of a federal agency in U.S. history. The Secret Service is a vital component of DHS. It has been directly impacted by this reckless political gamesmanship. Everyone in this room who was there on Saturday night witnessed the heroes of Secret Service and federal law enforcement jump into action in the face of grave danger and uncertainty. Agents put their own lives.
Yeah, it's cut off there, but yeah, they're getting crazy people to do crazy things. Crazy. Speaking of which, and don't go to the channel, please. I mean, do what you want. You're free to do whatever you want. But look at this. Before I went live, I noticed this. About 2 hours before I went live. And as I've already said, I got a little extra time on my hands, right? So I said, I might get in the chats on this. He's only got 13 guys or gals or whatever. But why do I want to lay down with dogs and get fleas? Why would I want to give him any views? Why want to give him any clicks? But you always think, hey, maybe you can talk to him. I would tell him, hey, you got 13 viewers. Send me a link. I'll come up live and talk to you. I've done that before with creators I never met before. And try to talk some sense into them, right? But I thought better of it. What's his point of showing that meme of Trump healing a sick nation? I don't know. I don't want to know. Trump is falling apart. He's anything but. He's so cool, he's got change for an ice cube. He's winning in the courts. We got a lot of stuff that is coming up that's very important. And the big heavy lifting, if Supreme Court drops it, Trump will pick it up. In other words, he'll make them reconsider or do an insurrection act and do it as he sees fit. The minds have already been made up. Like with this redistricting in Texas. The other issue was a bunch of activist attorneys suing Texas, saying Texas can't enforce immigration law. And how long has that been going on? That started in the Biden administration, and we're just now getting to an appeals court. Andrew Branca did a very good show on it, where he read the whole decision. But one of the keys that came out of this, and it was Judge Ho. I put his picture up before. He's the one that sent a letter, I think it was to Columbia. Might have been Yale, but he said, we're not taking any more of your students as interns. They're impossible to work with. You're not teaching them what you need to teach them. And they are a pain in the rear end, in so many words. So a prestigious college got a kick in the rear end from an appellate court judge. So what they ruled was, no, the litigants can't get paid damages and attorney's fees and all this stuff. You had no business suing in the first place. You can't create your own bills. Branca put it like this. You can't punch yourself in the face and say, hey, I need some money because I got punched in the face. No, you had no business being in the courtroom. You had no standing. And the important thing about that is all these lower court liberal judges, that had been trying to keep illegals in, assign them free judges, right? Air quotes free. No, we're really the ones paying for it. We are really. They ain't going to get them anymore. And they'll sue to get the money back for the ones who've been wasting their time. So anyway, let me get that one off screen. That was a really good ruling. Let me see what... And speaking of redistricting, for Ron DeSantis, he got a victory with Alligator Alcatraz. How long's that been going on? Alligator Alcatraz. That's finally put to bed. Okay? They can't close down Alligator Alcatraz. Breaking, DeSantis unveils new map that could neutralize Virginia power grab. All right. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is rolling out a congressional map could hand Republicans a major boost. Listen, if there's 4 additional seats for the GOP and the representation justifies it, then that's how the things are supposed to operate. Nobody's got a problem with that, or should have, except Democrats. I don't want it to neutralize Virginia's power grab. I want it to pile on, okay, their defeat, where they're disallowed from turning it to a 10-1 representation in a 49 to 51% state. I want it to continue to be 49 to 51 and then have this pile on, along with Texas. So you see what's happening, folks. And for those of you who have been with me for a long time, you remember me saying that Florida is a template. And I heard people say blueprint. That's fine too. But that's what we're seeing. Hi, Mac. How you doing? Yeah, Andrew, bring us a coffee cup. Yeah, we hadn't heard much out of Lemon, have we? We'll see a rubber mask up there. A rubber mask. We all know that Obama was the shadow president under the puppet regime of Biden, the rubber-faced man. I was going to use this picture for my thumbnail. Because this was right after the attempt. It's a historic picture. There's Dan Scavino over on the left. And Marco Rubio, all the big players. And Trump looking at photos of the mentally ill individual. And if he was a Christian person and really didn't have a deep background of TDS, and then within the past 5 years, was it, he started losing his mind, believing in things that the Bible says are abominations, and bashing Trump. Look at it. Is this his mugshot? It must be. Is this a lonely nut? You had nothing better to do? You were an engineer. Like I said, how many times you see his PVC pipe brake system on a wheelchair? None. All right? If you're an engineer, what are you doing teaching at, what was he, in elementary school? So, look at the look on his face. Is that a mugshot? Now in America, man charged with attempted assassination of Trump, King Charles V. Well, finally, somebody said assassination of Trump. From the night it happened, every single outfit, the usual suspects, NBC, MSNBC, all of them were saying, we don't know who he was after. He was after members of the administration because he didn't like Hex's policy. He said he would spare Kash Patel. We don't know for sure if he was after Donald Trump. What do you got, rocks in your head? So anyway, look at the look on his face, the sneer. If that's his mugshot, he is a disturbed individual. So in her interview, she kept saying, well, Do you think he was after you, Mr. President? Who do you think he was after? Pinocchio? Here's another breaking news. CBS. Suspected, right? Press dinner shooter. Yeah. We're not sure, but we got a strong suspicion. Targeted Trump officials. No, he is an alleged assassin. All right? He was coming in to assassinate people. He didn't give a damn who it was. I don't care what he wrote, it's Scrapifesto. So anyway, what's this video? Oh, here is how many times we used to watch Bill O'Reilly because the world was going crazy. Remember those days? You had Rush Limbaugh on the radio driving around or going to work. You had Bill O'Reilly at night. The spin stops here. And you know what wasn't a bad show? If you had just the 3 channels. And remember those days, folks? Was Ted Koppel's Nightline. Remember, that wasn't that bad. All right? So that was pretty much the media you took in back in the day. The rest of the time you were worried about your relationships, your friends, your job, your projects, what were you doing, not having a damn phone taped to the side of your head. But anyway, here's Bill O'Reilly's take on that interview.
O'Donnell had no cause to read the ramblings of a loon. None. Yet she tried to humiliate the President of the United States, who was just attacked. And it was edited. There isn't one person in CBS who knows that. That's called gutter snipe reporting. That's what the National Enquirer does. Oh, look who said this about you. It's not true. Then why are you throwing it out there? You can't do that if you're a responsible journalist. You have to verify it. So the president was absolutely 100% correct in saying to Miss O'Donnell, who I know, okay, you should be ashamed of yourself of reading that. And she should be, but she's not. I'm just doing my job. No, you're not. Talk about malpractice. My God.
What they were doing was repeating libel and calling it news. Repeating libel. Whichever group is promulgating that libel, they're just trying to repeat it. And, I have to look it up in one of my old encyclopedias, see if they have a term in there that has weight. It's called BLOOD libel, right? Where it drives public hostility to the point where people get hurt or worse. Look at Schmuck Todd. What a puke. What a puke. And, you can't give any of these people breaks because they have no shame. That's what I was going to say about what Bill O'Reilly said. No, she's not ashamed because they have no shame, Bill. She knew she was going to repeat libel on air in front of the entire nation and try to put Trump on the spot. But here's Chuck Todd. It's Trump's events that are the problem. Trump's events. He'll never go to one again. Good, Chuck. What he's trying to do is get people not to go to the next one that Trump is going to have. Well, let's weed out the trash.
I'm not going to any more events where Trump's at him. I don't feel safe. Wherever Donald Trump
Chaos
is,
follows him.
Chaos follows him. And you are less safe, right? If you decide to go into his orbit, you have become less safe. He does not care about your safety. He's not going to protect you if you go into his orbit because he's always going to protect himself first. He's more likely to throw you under the bus. He's more likely to have you be the target of Iranian assassins if you're John Bolton or Mike Pompeo. And he's going to pull any sort of federal support, right? I think about when somebody using Donald Trump's words and actions targeted me and a bunch of other members of the press. You know who I didn't hear from?
Donald Trump.
Right. So the guy doesn't care when people commit violence in his name. He only cares when the violence is committed against him, and he does not see that he is a contributor to the atmospherics of the world we're living in right now.
When did anybody commit violence in Trump's name? Oh, let's go to 6 years ago, Jay, and then 6, right? Probably another Southern Poverty Law Center operation in concert with other groups. And what the hell are you talking about? Trump doesn't care about your safety. He doesn't care about everything. The Democrats are the ones that have held up Homeland Security money. A lot of those people were there wouldn't get paid. And they protected everybody, you nut. What a puke. What a pure puke. But you never, if I had a chance to address them, I wouldn't talk like that. I would ask him that question. Why are you blaming Donald Trump when the Democrats are withholding DHS funding? I put that picture up of that kid that had the video with Trump healing the world. And everybody had conniptions over. Well, look at the meme they're putting out now. Look at the meme they're putting up. Keith, I don't know who the hell Keith Edwards is, but he's another one. Garbage man tricks. Put up this. Anyone get the tariff and Doge rebate check yet? Maybe in 2 weeks. And Trump's walking off the golf course while the world is suffering. The nation is suffering. So they bastardize the meme that they all had a fit over. And talk to the lunatics on SCOTUS. All right? Talk to the lunatic lawyers that were suing Doge every foggy day, every time you turn the corner. There was some greaseball lawyer with a briefcase and a bunch of bad arguments that bum judges agreed with. But this is what they think is humor. Well, where is that one I had? Oh, Trump put this picture up. No comment. He put it up today. President Donald J. Trump Bridge. Ha 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 ha. Make them all. Must be Florida. What would you all say, folks? I hope it's everywhere around the country. I hope the liberals drive themselves freaking nuts driving on the road. Having fits. We'll rub it in their face. We'll get as many dedications and signs up as possible. Somebody had a video up that said, if people say Dems don't cause violence, show them this clip. I got to find it. I got to put my postage stamp up, though. There's my postage stamp. I put a link to buy me a coffee in the description, and I forgot to say anything. I think it was at the 43-minute mark, maybe. I started babbling right away, and so that's the way it goes. Oh, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Okay, folks, help the video get around. If you're not subscribed, why not? So, kapow, I want to thank Younger Gang, Norm, Mike and Bev, Robin. I saw Wayne in. Did I say hi to Wayne? I sure did. And Colette and Roland, I see you in the chat too. Boom! You went to buy me a coffee last night. I appreciate it. So anyway, I give everybody a shout out. Pow, pow. I'm all confused what's going on. I know we're coming to the end of April. So anyway, some people can use this thing on the screen. we'll get back to these other issues, but I'll talk a little bit about, well, like Carolyn Levitt intro the issue, as Jesse Jackson used to say, the issue. Can I have a tissue?
But the proposal was being discussed. I don't want to get ahead of the president or his national security team. What I will reiterate is that the president's red lines with respect to Iran have been made very, very clear, not just to the American public, but also to them as well.
Well, something's going on. She can't report but so much, but something's happening because the Iranians are very close to having some very big problems. Guess where they're at? And all of a sudden, Trump's phone rings because, I don't know, are they up there trying to get the Ruskies to do something? Cause trouble for them? Make the Saudis mad? Make United Arab Emirates mad? Probably Turkey too. Iran foreign minister arrives in St. Petersburg for Putin talks. Iranian state media. He arrived in St. Petersburg early on Monday morning with the aim of meeting and holding talks with Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin. And Putin said something, I hate to say mealy mouth, but he was like, we want peace for, everybody to have peace and things to be worked out, a diplomatic, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, the phone started ringing at the White House. The Iranians want to talk. They say, if you lift the embargo on reports, we'll open all the strait, and there won't be no problems, and we can start talking. Well, in their brains, that's a great deal because we were demanding reparations and all this kind of other garbage, and that they would rain down HELL on everybody and destroy everybody's power plants. And now they're like, can we just get some barges through? Well, they're messing around with China too, right? But this is an important post. Thailand Foreign Minister Sishasak Phouanget Kiao, he could be a judge in America, stated that Thailand had requested assistance from China to help secure the passage of 8 of its ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Oh, you want to bring China to give military escorts with the U.S. Navy out there? Oh, okay. With Donald Trump as president? What was the response? According to him, China responded that it was currently struggling to free about 70 of its own vessels. Is this being reported in the U.S. news? Oh, the U.S. Navy can't keep up a blockade. People are slipping through all the time. They're running out of missiles, and there's a lot of concern, according to former Pentagon officials, that they're going to run out of interceptors. And on the USS Gerald Ford, the coffee machine's broken. Well, tell that to China. 70 of its own vessels are stuck. And that should be in the news. So I'm sure you all have heard the story. If they don't get the oil flowing, keep it flowing, that it will coagulate in the pipes. Pressure will build up and the casings can crack, or probably will crack. And it will do damage to these wells that will be very, very difficult and long-term to repair. They got to keep it moving. Hi, Jeffrey. No, they're not that stupid. They're not helping Iran. Iran was taking a last-ditch effort to go over there and personal pleas, probably trying to bribe them. Russia don't need your oil, Iran. China does. China does. So what good are you going to do? So anyway, what's this? Telegraph? I can't stand him. Iran offers to reopen Strait of Hormuz, but postpone nuclear talks with the U.S. Well, Trump's cogitating on it. He's in no hurry. His oil wells aren't going to get clogged up or pop or crack or collapse. So he'll probably want to sleep on it. Don't you know he just made it through another assassination attempt? Can you give the man a break? Give him a little peace of mind. We don't want to hear about y'all caterwauling over your wells. Iran has submitted a new peace proposal from the U.S. offering to open the Strait of Hormuz. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. We're busy right now exposing the psychological warfare campaign that you all have been participating in, Iran, and the physical attempts on not only U.S. Officials, Donald Trump himself, but U.S. citizens, okay? Rudy Giuliani posted this. This is what makes me think he's a little out of loop. You know, he's not marching in exact step with the administration. But he makes a good point. The security outside the ballroom was so lax that just as easily the attempted assassin ran through the hall with shotgun and knives. He could have set off an explosive device that would have eliminated our executive branch. Now, I don't think Rudy knows the whole thing. The guy wasn't even on the same floor. He was probably 120 feet from Trump, but still hadn't got to the upper level where Trump was. He was a half a flight down on that landing. So it would have had to been one heck of a... but I'm not saying it's not possible. The security provided for my friend and our greatest president is filled with too many obvious opportunities. Once again, watch the Trump hater running past security in the hotel and imagine if he were a professional and holding a powerful incendiary device. Tell me you can live with this. Now, I have to agree with him. We shouldn't take it lightly. We shouldn't take it lightly. And what do you think that security's going to be like when they go again? Well, Chuck Todd will never know. Nobody wants you there anyway, Chuck Todd. Let me see what this one is. There's one from Dan Scavino I want to put up. This is from Melania Trump. You all were with me last night, most of you. I played that stupid clip. For those who weren't with us, let me see if I still got it in the studio. Oh, Jimmy Kimmel, the puke. Mocking Melania Trump. It was a fake, here it is. I was just about to quit. It was a fake correspondence dinner spoof, and they used old footage of Melania in a crowd.
Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
Yeah, he should be fired. Why isn't he fired already? But anyway, Melania came out, and you know, there is actionable things. I'm not saying which category this would fall in, but in inciting public hostility, I mentioned that many times. Also, the intentional infliction of emotional distress. Okay, your mockery can't be where somebody feels their life's in danger. Incendiary, insightful comments. But anyway, I'm sure she's got attorneys that are real. Kimmel's hateful and violent rhetoric is intended to divide our country. His monologue about my family isn't comedy. His words are corrosive and deepens the political sickness within America. Here we go again with the word sickness, okay? People like Kimmel shouldn't have the opportunity to enter our homes each evening to spread hate. A coward, Kimmel hides behind ABC because he knows the network will keep running cover to protect him. Enough is enough. It's time for ABC to take a stand. Repeating what Clarence Thomas said, we all need to take a stand. Make sure we vote. Make sure we know who's in our government from the local level on up. How many times will ABC's leadership enable Kimmel's atrocious behavior at the expense of our community? Well, maybe she'll put the Ajax on him with a good fat lawsuit. How about that? You know, you get these psycho judges, though. It's kind of hard to. We got to pull a Bukele and clean their rear ends out. Get rid of them. I didn't get a chance to watch this one yet. This is Bill Maher talking to some guy who is a woke comedian. They say he sets this guy straight. Maybe they didn't say woke, but I mean, look at the guy. How old is he? You know, got a beard, 50 years old. What? You wouldn't think he'd be a wokey doke. But anyway, a lot of these Democrats are just old contrary farts. But anyway, let's see what Bill Maher. I don't know. Might be some wordy dirts. I didn't listen to it yet.
You need to be checked. People need to be checked.
I think they'll be
including your little girl.
Okay.
She needs to be checked. I don't know what.
Fuck that bitch. Fuck that little bitch with her black friends and trans friends and not even understanding. She doesn't know.
Wait, she has trans friends in third grade?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, they know they're trans in third grade.
I knew one of her friends. I knew when he was a girl.
How old?
I think just turned 9. And is just the coolest kid. I think
boy to girl, girl to boy,
girl to boy,
girl to boy. Okay.
And she has another very close friend who's not in this school, but who's boy to girl at 3.
But girl to boy, you know, I mean, I knew somebody who said to me, actually more than one person who said to me, a woman said, you know, I was what they called a tomboy. If I was alive now and acted the way I did then, that's what they would have done to me.
Well, nobody's doing this to her.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
literally, nobody is doing this to her.
How old?
She is, or he is, either 8 or, I think 9.
Okay, then somebody is doing something, because 8 or 9-year-olds can't
No, you know what they're doing?
Can't do anything on their own.
No, they're buying them boys' clothes.
Well, then they're doing something. They're doing.
Sure, yes, you're right. They're buying them boys' clothes.
And telling them you're a boy now.
Okay, no, they're not telling them. They're just agreeing with. They're like going.
Well, they're
okay,
agreeing
honey.
with an 8-year-old because when has their judgment ever been off at 8?
You know,
Anyway,
you knew you weren't gay, right?
That's.
It's not different.
It is different.
No, it isn't.
It's okay. Good luck with President Vance, because as I always say to my woke friends, we voted for the same person. You're just why she lost. And this is a case of that.
Wait, what?
We voted for the same person.
Right.
You're just why she lost. Because America hears this, and they're going to go, Bill's right. 8-year-olds can't really make decisions on their own like this. That's what most people are going to say. And this is where the Democrats are, with David Cross living in Brooklyn, with Mandami Loving. And this is why, we're going to vote for J.D. Vance, and that's
I don't think
that's
it's
America in a nutshell.
I don't.
Doesn't mean I don't love you.
Yeah, he doesn't know what to say. You know, you walk by the guy, you wouldn't think you would think that way, but hey, what a jerk. You don't talk to kids about sexual preferences, okay? Because that's what it all boils down to. All right? Back in the day, you'd have got your collar grabbed up, your toes up in the air, barely touching the ground, and somebody very angry at you. But just because they have a beard doesn't mean anything. Just before I went live, Citizens Free Press put up this. This dude teaches at the prestigious Oxford University. Oxford University? Yeah, Oxford. Hang on to your hats. My goodness, for this one. Wait a minute, I got to cut my mic off. And if you can make heads or tails out of what point he's trying to get across, let me know. I have no idea what he's talking about. And it's hard for me to hear through this setup.
Yes, I'm in the process of putting a website together, and that is proving to be much harder than it probably should be. And the problem I'm running up against is some imposter syndrome, classic. Basically, what does it mean to be an expert in something? Because it's really not obvious to me at what point I could describe myself as an expert in something. I have expertise in things, like I've been teaching plenty. My chemistry's pretty solid, but I think I still have this feeling that declaring myself an expert in something is a little bit uncomfortable, and I don't quite know on what basis I would feel comfortable doing that. And lots of people, seem to be quite happy with this. They'll sort of declare themselves experts in all sorts of things. Although I would also say that I think we've all come across people who declare themselves experts in things, but when you actually talk to them or you see what they're saying, the reality is not necessarily that. And there are some people who would not say they're experts in things and who actually turn out to be.
What point is you trying to make?
So I guess the question I have is, if you're someone who has overcome that, or who's
let me take this to the end, because it's all the same crap. Wait a minute, where's my where I can move the video? There we go.
You think it would take
Get toward the end,
over the line,
fat boy.
to sort of get to that point where you would feel comfortable describing yourself as an expert in things? To hear what people think, because I'm kind of wrangling with this, and I keep going back and forth trying to sort of either stick my neck out and say I'm definitely an expert in XYZ, and then sort of dialing it back, and it feels like neither of those approaches are really very sensible. So yeah, just be interested to hear what people think. Hope everyone's having a great 2026. Cheers.
What in the world was the point of all that? I have trouble with strong accents like that anyway. But really, I it's babble to me. It's the madman's babble, or whatever the hell he thinks he is. So anyway, it was funny that came up just before we went live, and I was wondering about this woke comedian. So yeah, you need a translator. I have no idea what the hell he was talking about. Puke, puke, puke. That's right, Tammy. Dr. Trump. Yeah, the timeline is wild, isn't it? Ha ha ha. So, let me see. Clandestine put this up. Didn't post for a while. They said people are perplexed that the shooter seemed to be a somewhat normal guy with an education and a job. As a conservative who's been living near DC for 15 years, this isn't perplexing at all. If you could hear the way the leftists talk about Trump and his supporters, especially when they think there are no Trump supporters around, none of this would surprise you. They actually believe Trump is Hitler, and they actually believe violence is justified against Trump and his supporters. This is not some fringe belief. This is widespread. They're justified. They openly and unapologetically fantasize about Republican politicians being assassinated. They are proud of it. You could ask any leftist on the street if they wish any of the assassination attempts on Trump were successful. They would look you straight in the eye and say, absolutely. Just like they openly rooted for us to die. During the COVID, okay? A great sickness infects these people. And I don't think those who live outside the cities have any idea just how much these leftists hate you and want you to die. The shooter was not some fringe activist. He is just a regular leftist who acted on the thoughts and conversations all of them have been having, conditioned to have, due to the 24/7 exposure to anti-Trump propaganda from every bit of the media they consume. They are heavily brainwashed. And you've seen enough pictures of the engineer, right? Where's that one Scavino put up? Here's something from Posobiec. The biggest problem to prosecuting Cole Allen isn't the evidence. It's the fact that the D.C. jury pool would agree with his manifesto. They'd just be upset he failed. We can't have a justice system like that. Sounds kind of insurrection-y to me. Let's see. Here's the one from Dan Scavino. Dan Scavino put this out. There was nothing better for the president and those of us who were there with him in Butler, Pennsylvania, than to go back and finish what we started. After the assassination attempt in Butler, many of us in attendance had to go through a healing process, just as many will have to go through who attended the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I can assure you, as someone who has sadly been through this more than once, that a significant part of the process is not letting the lunatic win. Finish what was started. There were awards to be given, speeches to be made. It's a time to unify, come together, and move forward together. The president made it clear that he is all in. We live in the greatest country in the world, and it is imperative to finish what was started. This is another defining moment. As President Trump has made it clear, I hope that we can have it within a short period of time, because we can't let these criminals and these really bad people change the course of events in our country. USA, that's exactly right. You put your head down and you plow forward. Let's see, what's this one? Which news? Oh, this is Fox News. Oh, this is Donald Trump. This is Donald Trump on the phone. I'm not sure if this is what issue he's talking about.
Is terrible. What they've done is so it's unconstitutional. It's before the court. You know, the courts accepted that case. And if you look at the referendum and if you look at the question, it was not understandable. It was written in such a way that nobody understands what it meant, including nobody knows.
So were you surprised to see it go that way?
I was very impressed with the fact that, because I happen to think that there are a lot of cheating going on in Virginia, frankly, and they were leading all day long. We were leading, meaning I guess you'd call it the Republicans. And I said, when did you see the end? All of a sudden there was a ballot drop. But the courts have taken it up, and the courts are looking at it, and they're looking at it, I think, very strongly. A lot of people said it's totally unconstitutional. You can't let it. And it wasn't understandable. In other words, when people got in, they read that question, or if they sent it in, they read the question, and the question it could have been viewed 5 different ways. So let's see what happens in the courts. But the courts have actually accepted it. That's a big move. So it may be ruled. It's a very bad thing for our country. Very, very bad.
Now, Virginia redistricting. I don't know what sane person would say going 10-1 in a 50-50 state is fair at all. You know, what was the name that they, I meant to make more of a note of it. They said this guy had in his Facebook page a group that he belonged to, it was a twist on the word Great Awakening, right? They were trying to co-opt the CUE drops by acting like they're the ones waking up, right? So anyway, I need to find out. I don't need to, but it's the same typical crap they pull. Knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. Frederick Douglass. I need to find that picture they used to show all the kids back in the day. The only picture you ever saw of Frederick Douglass, maybe a paragraph about his life, looked like a James Brown mugshot. And there were plenty of pictures of him. I've been over that before. That weren't, I mean, it was the 1800s. Cameras are a new thing. But anyway, they always discounted Frederick Douglass because they knew he would abhor their positions. Let me see. What's this one? Here we go. What's this? Oh, I'm not sure what this is. Do y'all know?
And Donald Trump is always where the cameras are when it involves making money. And today at Lowe's Island in
Oh, I know what this is. This is, Trump put this up. Wait a minute. Where'd it go? Here it is. Somebody posted 100 years from now, people won't even believe Trump was real. And let me find that. Here we go. Here it is. And this is a video that came along with it. Donald Trump posted this. Kids 100 years from now are never going to believe that Donald Trump was a real person. And Community Notes said Trump really played tennis with Serena Williams while wearing a suit. So I didn't watch it because I wanted to watch it with you all, but then I saw it and I said, wait a minute, what is this? Let me go ahead and start it up. There he is meeting Serena Williams.
In Sterling, Virginia, he opened the Tennis Performance Center. Trump volleyed with Serena Williams, shoes off, coat on. Donald Trump showing he's got some game, some little. It's right there at the Trump National Club. Both are tremendous facilities. It was good to see him out there, and the fans seemed to enjoy it.
You know, when he was younger, he used to play a lot of tennis. You know, I'm talking 40 years ago. But of course, it is hard to play in a suit, I'm sure. But he had fun. Nobody can say he didn't have fun. Yeah, why can't people see the good in a man? That's right. Who said that? That's right. Because they're nuts. They're crazy. Let me see. Where'd that comment go? Oh, Tammy, right there in front of my face. I don't know. I don't know why they can't see the good man. This is the kind of crap Midas trash. Narratives. We can pick the narratives before they come out. Here's a guy named Daniel B. Data centers are filled with gold, silver, and are almost completely unstaffed. Godspeed. I put in there, jails are open and completely staffed. Jail cells. You know, trying to get people to go break into data centers, I guess. Chyna, she said, the next No Kings protest should be July 4th, 250-year celebration. Yeah. Let's see how that works out for you. They just can't get rid of it. You saw Trump. Oh, no kings. It's just one of their psyops. Cynthia Oro. Now get a load of this. Ben, what's his name? Measles or something like that. I so appreciate the fact that Ben refuses to play the orange BSer's voice. In other words, you don't want to hear what he has to say. And neither does Ben. I wish more people would do this. Oh, just shut off the President of the United States because you're too big of a child to listen to what he has to say. It helps keep my blood pressure down. Keep up the good work. Well, when you start hearing that speaker at 5 o'clock in the morning telling you to get up for prayers, so see how your blood pressure does then. But yeah, sites like that talk smack about Trump and they don't even know what he's saying. How can you comment with any kind of authority when I don't want to hear his voice, but here's what I think of what Trump's doing? Go you know what in your hat. The real Donald Trump said, wow, Jimmy Kimmel, who is in no way funny, as attested by his terrible television ratings, made a statement on the show that is really shocking. He showed a fake video of the First Lady, Melania, and our son, Barron, like they were actually sitting in his studio listening to him speak, which they weren't. It never would be. Then he stated, our First Lady, Melania, is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow. A day later, a lunatic tried entering the ballroom of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, loaded up with a shotgun, handgun, and many knives. He was there for a very obvious reason and sinister reason. I appreciate that so many people are incensed at Kimmel's despicable call to violence and normally would not be responsive to anything he said. But this is something far beyond the pale. Jimmy Kimmel should be immediately fired from Disney and ABC. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump. What do you think are the odds he's going to get fired? What do you think of the odds? They're going to take that kind of a chance? And then Kimmel, boy, he is really going to be fair game. I want to see if this is a video. I think this video. This was, let me see.
The Correspondents Association was...
Oh, yeah. This video was probably an hour before the event. Listen to this woman. Listen to this nut. I hadn't seen other people play this yet.
The Correspondents Association was trying to sort of mend some fences with a guy who wants us dead, figuratively. Figuratively, he wants journalism dead. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't think this is a great night for journalism. It's a night that's meant to be celebrating it, but I think it's a real bummer.
She stuck the word figuratively in there. Figuratively. Well, at least she did that much. Here's the guy that's, somebody put in the comments the name of her child, Carolyn Levitt's child. Was it Vivian? Vivian, who put that name in? This is where Jonathan Karl interviews the guy who's doing the trick and guessed the name of the child. Let's see if they say what the name is. Somebody put it in the chat, Vivian.
All right, I'm here again with Oz Perlman, and you can now finally tell us what the trick was you were performing on Caroline Levitt.
Caroline Levitt, the press secretary, challenged me, said, I'm having a baby next week. We were talking about it because we both have children. And she goes, can you guess what I'm naming my daughter? And so this is happening backstage. We were interrupted because the president walked in.
Yeah.
And so I said, let's save it for when we get up on the dais.
Yeah.
And that's when I came over to introduce myself. I was coming to say hello to the president and to the first lady. And I was guessing letter by letter how many letters were in the name. And then right at the moment where you see it happen, I wrote down the name. And I said, how did I do? And I turn it around, and that's when you see the first lady go, oh, and she goes, is that the name? And that's the moment where this happened.
All right, and Caroline has given you permission to tell us what you guessed, which is the name of her baby.
That's exactly right. That's what's on the paper.
And what's the name?
I believe the name is Vivian. So yeah, that's what I guessed.
I mean, anyway, what a surreal part of the night.
I'll never forget it.
At the moment. All right, Oz Perlman.
Yeah, you were right, Sparky. Vivian. That's a nice name, don't you think? I had it in the studio last night just to get around playing it. So, we had a little bit of extra time today. Or I did anyway. So, let's see. Let's look at some of these Ruski reports. The USA. Australian flags were accidentally hung up for the visit of King Charles III. You think there was something behind that? No Union Jacks on our road? Because Australia is part of the kingdom, right? Maybe we'll make Britain a state and King Charles can go to Australia. There, Macron put pressure on the USA. He said they are an unreliable ally and are acting together with China and Russia against Europe. Why? Because China and Russia don't want to stick their head to beehive? He also stated that France will help Greece, which is a member of NATO, against Turkey, which is also a member of NATO. Fine, y'all help each other out. Great. Keep us out of it. We don't care. You got Tom Hanks there as a citizen. Here's another post from Donald J. Trump. Ha ha ha. Great idea. Do it. President DJT. I want to change ICE to NICE. National Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So the media has to say, nice agents all day, every day. That sounds like a good idea to me. I like it. I like it a lot. Remember that movie Dumb and Dumber? I like her a lot. So anyway, here's another meme from the lunatics. The lunatics on Midas. No, this is Keith Edwards Community. They took a picture of Trump getting pushed to the ground, okay? And the young girl that was there during the guessing contest. And he put some snowflakes falling at the Washington Hilton. This is how idiotic these people are. They thought Ray Everett. Yeah, I'll put you on blast. Ray Everett with the flower. Are you like that guy from Oxford? Ray? Don't tell me that they're not lunatics, because they are. Get a chance, go to Nick Shirley's channel. This is the kind of stuff he's been getting sent. By one of them, Joey Mountains. Joey Mountains. What kind of name is that? This is going to be you on April 27th, 2026, in a muddy ditch alongside your mother, alongside the highway with your mother. Enjoy your last couple of months, buddy. Is that on X? Nick Shirley put up, the threats are real. They want to kill. Here is the truth about the radicalized. Right now, a small group of Americans have become and are becoming radicalized. No, they've been this way for a while. They're just spiteful, hateful, and they tamper it down. As long as they're taking advantage of us and feeding off of us and moving forward with their programs to totally dominate us, they won't be as nasty. Okay, they show their nastiness when somebody like Trump comes around and exposes them. But anyway, how many times you all heard me play the percentage game? I said I had 2% rule. Any population got 100,000 people in the army, 2% are going to be lunatics. And I went down the line, any population. Well, here he's going to do the same thing. This is a major problem. Here's why. Say 1% of the U.S. is radicalized. That is 3 million people. 0.5% is 1.5 million. 0.1% is 300,000. You currently have a large army of people who want to kill their opposition. For years now, people and elected officials have falsely called their opposition Nazis and fascists. Now enough people believe it to the point that they are killing. Political violence is at a high, and those that yell those lies are in office. The war between good and evil has never been so obvious. I just made a video on the radicalization, as this is supposed to be the day I die. Hope you guys watch it. Here's the link. So you all know how to look up Nick Shirley on YouTube. Yeah. There has to be some consequences. I like my idea of them going to Ukraine and fighting in the war. One caveat, they can't come back to America if they survive the battlefield. So anyway, this is over in Mali. There's Russian mercenaries that over there. Kind of like, what's the name of that group that was fighting for the against the Ukrainians? I didn't look around, but anyway, here's a guy in handcuffs. Photo of a day from Mali. A captive barefoot cannibal surrounded by fighters of the African Corps in Mali. So the story is they gave up a town that colonel got, where they had the you-know-what-aside bomber hit. So I'll show you another town they're trying to occupy. But I'll go through these Ruski reports as I have them. The shooter, Cole Allen, who attempted to attack White House officials. There they go. They're not saying Trump. Raised money for the Ukrainian armed forces and criticized Vance for refusing to support Ukraine. This was reported by the New York Post. The publication found dozens of posts with harsh criticism of the Trump administration, and his rhetoric intensified as support for Ukraine decreased. In one of the messages, Allen called Vice President J.D. Vance a piece of you-know-what for statements that the U.S. had effectively abandoned Ukraine without help. He also independently organized fundraisers for Ukrainian brigades. So, yeah, no, he's got to serve a life sentence. I don't know if he's going to go to the front and never come back. That'd be fine with me. Let's see if this is back to the, this is back to Mali. In Gao, Mali, most of the city has fell into the hands of the rebels and Al-Qaeda. Russian elements, Wagner Group. Thank you, Randy. They're kind of like the Africa Corps. They might be, hi, Felix. They might be part of the Wagner Group called the Africa Corps. Anyway, Russian elements have for once decided not to retreat. So they left that other area where the commander got blown up and instead stayed barricaded inside the city limits with their Malian allies. Gunfights have been rare to break out this day, as trying to remove the Malians and the Russians from their positions will heavily cost FLA and JNIM a lot of soldiers. Boy, that one video I saw, a lot of them got taken out. But it is unlikely for the Malians and the Russians to survive a prolonged siege if it was fought to the end, as reinforcements are simply non-existent. So it looks to me like they're getting traction. That orange-bearded mullah may get his 10 women and the others he'll be able to sell to his soldiers. Isn't that great, liberal women? That's what you're sticking up for. The German edition of Bild reports that the team of saboteurs, remember the Nord Stream pipeline? Well, there's one of the saboteurs on the screen. Included a former Ukrainian erotic model who was later retrained as a diver. Okay. When planning the operation, her erotic past was used to create a cover story. During a police check, they were supposed to say that they were filming underwater pornography. The publication found her photos from her last profession. I won't publish them in full. That's a Russian reporter. But there she is. There she is. Blew up one of the major pipelines in Europe, or was part of a team that did it. Donald Trump posted this to remind everybody. Former Governor Ray Cooper made this tragedy happen. Vote for Michael Watley. And we all know that's Iran. How you say her name? Let me see. The man who murdered Irina Zanutska in the light rail in Charlotte, North Carolina. DeCarlos Brown Jr. has just been found incapable to proceed on the state red rum charge brought against him. It's a massive injustice. Well, he should be incapable to proceed with breathing. Oh, who's this? Oh, I know who it is. Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? Obama under fire for downplaying the attack on Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I could have put his quote up. I didn't get a screenshot of it. It makes me sick. Obama's catching heat after suggesting the motive behind Saturday night shooting at the White House dinner was still unknown. See? It's all the same narrative, folks. It's all the same narrative. Who's the real one? We pulled a Joe Biden mask off, found an Obama We pull the Obama mask out, there's a George Soros. You know, get a load of this. Is this an AI picture? Because this was posted on Russian news. I don't know. Vice President J.D. Vance. Now, who's putting this stuff out? Oh, The Atlantic. Why would they put this stuff out to Russian news? Privately expressed doubts about the Pentagon's assessment of a war with Iran. The Atlantic. So they're trying to say Vance is against Trump or whatever. According to sources, Vance is extremely concerned that the U.S. stockpiles of key ammunition may be rapidly depleting, which could affect the U.S.'s readiness for other conflicts. However, the military department claims that sources are sufficient, although an internal assessment indicate that Iran still retains significant potential and that U.S. weapons are being used at a significant rate. I don't believe that anybody with any real knowledge of what's going on or what Vance is thinking said any of this stuff. But somebody's pumping that garbage out. Trump again. The radical left Democrats have kept DHS shut down since February 14th. Our great speaker, Mike Johnson, is working hard to end the Democrat shutdown and pass the first step of a plan to get full funding for our incredible NICE agents and Border Patrol. We need all Republicans to join together to support the budget blueprint, which will allow us to bypass Democrat obstruction in the Senate and fund immigration enforcement with only Republican votes. The Senate passed this blueprint last week on Thursday morning, and now House Republicans must unify. Who's he talking to? I know at least one of them's Rand Paul, right? I don't know. I've asked for the final bill on my desk by June 4th, and we can make that deadline if we keep to the plan, fast and focused. Let's take care of our great agents of law enforcement. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump. So, yeah, I want to see. That is important, yes, but we need the SAVE Act. We need the Save America Act. Let me see what this one is. This might be the one I was looking for. I hate these black screen ones. I don't know what this one is.
But you know now.
Oh, God. Oh, my. Why am I going to do this to myself? I didn't watch it, so. Oh, it's Ann Navarro. Gosh. What's she going to talk about? What do y'all think she's going to talk about? Because I'm going to play it. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to put, for the last time for this broadcast, I'm going to put my link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee. If anybody wants to help the channel out, it's in the chats, I keep saying description. It's in the chats. If anybody wants to help out, I want to thank Younger Gang, Norm, Mike and Bev, Robin, Wayne, Colette, and Roland. Okay, the Fellowship of the Coffee, is that what we call it? Anybody needs to, a postage stamp, there it is on the screen. Miss Menderson, reminded me about my booms. Let me get my postage stamp off. Wait a minute. Pow! Kaboom! 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 I got to get my postage stamp over. I don't want to blow up my own postage stamp.